Domain model refinement. So domain model refinement, it says the project depends on which domain. The domain is maybe a banking system or a education system or any factory oriented, industrial oriented, like that. We have to choose the domain, depends on your project concepts. So based on, if you develop a conceptual classes, we need to know domain, so that generalization and specialization to provide that particular conceptual classes. So conceptual class hierarchy are the basis for software classes hierarchy that exploit inheritance. Association classes factor the information about the association. Time intervals capture that idea that some objects are valid for a limited time. Concepts for this iteration. Category is physical or tangible objects, that is credit card or check payment, like that. Transaction is check payment, cash payment. These are all transactions going to be done this process. After other computer or electromechanical systems external to ours, credit authorization service, check authorization service, these are all backend process. Next one is organization, records of finance, work, contracts, legal matters, accounts receivable, and general ledger. So generalization is, it is fully depends on sub functions, that is inheritance. The cash payment, credit payment, and check payments are similar, identify commonality among concepts and define a superclass, separate and shared arrow notations in UML. Next one is defining a superclass and subclass. A conceptual superclass definition is more general than a subclass definition. A subclass is a subset of its superclass. Conformance 100% of the superclass definition should be applicable to the subclass attributes and association. This is a rule. So it is fully depends on superclass. The subclass is fully depends on superclass. Subclass can able to access all the attributes from the superclass. What is when to define a subclass? The subclass has additional attributes of interest. The subclass has additional associations. The subclass is operated on differentially from the superclass or other subclasses. The subclass represents an animated thing that behaves differentially from the superclass. So when to define superclass? Possible subclasses represent variations of similar conceptual subclass. Will confirm the 100% and is rules. All subclass have the different same attribute that can be factored output and put in the superclass. All subclasses have the same association that can be related to the subclass. So abstract conceptual classes. So abstract means hiding essential information, hiding the background details. It provides and it shows only essential information. If every member of a class C must also be a member of subclass, then C is called the abstract. That is, if C is never used by itself but only derived class are used, C is abstract. So derived class only used in C, but the C is going to be provide the output from superclass. So UML uses italics for abstract class, that is here base class is payment, and then generalization concepts. They develop check payment, credit payment, and cash payment. So modeling changing states. Don't model the state of concepts as a subclass, but rather either defining a state hierarchy and associate the states with the class. Ignore showing the state of a concepts in the domain model. Show states in state diagrams. So diagrams is the generalization diagram. It is easy. Payment unauthorization and authorization is a subclass of payment class. The same way, payment state, unauthorization state or authorization state, it is a generalization concepts going to be achieved through this concepts. Association. So Lawman's example, credit card authorization service assigning a merchant ID to each store for identification. A payment authorization from the store needs the merchant ID. The store has different ID for each service. Where in the model should the merchant ID attribute reside. So when to define superclass? Possible subclasses represent variations of similar conceptual subclass. Will confirm the 100% and is rules. All subclass have the different same attribute that can be factored output and put in the superclass. All subclasses have the same. So abstract conceptual classes. So abstract means hiding essential information, hiding the background details. It provides and it shows only essential information. If every member of a class C must also be a member of subclass, then C is called the abstract. That is, if C is never used by itself, but only derived class are used, C is abstract. So derived class only used in C, but the C is going to be provide the output from superclass. So UML uses italics for association symbols. Next one is aggregation and composition. Aggregation means has no meaningful distinct semantics. In UML use composition instead. Composition is strong